What's up guys, I'm back with another video. In a tough spot with your bank alt, trying to figure out what you could possibly add to your farming rotation? Well, look no further, cause I got 5 Burning Crusade dungeon farms for y'all that you can be farming right now. These dungeons are notable for their quick speed, decent drops, and variety. Also, TBC is one of those expansions that is kinda slept on regarding transmog farming, so higher end items sell for a lot of gold. That being said, let's just get right into it. The first dungeon that I'ma hit y'all with is the Underbug. This dungeon is located near the Steam Vaults and is regarded as the best way to farm Sanguine Hibiscus, an item needed to easily farm reputation with the Sporagar faction. On top of this, with the frequent greens, mode of life, and other reagent drops, this farm is probably one of, if not the best dungeon that you can be farming from the Burning Crusade. An hour of farming this dungeon typically yields around 200 to 300,000 gold in looted item value, meaning that running this dungeon a few times every few months is sure to add a significant amount of value to your inventory. It's also worth noting that there are plenty of herbs and ores that are scattered throughout the dungeon, so while farming this, I would recommend taking a character with professions that can do such. The next dungeon that I want to talk about is Sethic Halls. With the large amount of humanoid and undead mobs, there are plenty of greens to go around while running this instance. Not to mention, there are a ton of mobs that drop Burning Crusade trade goods as well, meaning that while you're waiting for greens to sell, you can rack up quick money by selling through the regional auction house. Also, on Heroic, from the second to last boss, there is a chance that a mount can drop called the Raven Lord, meaning that if you're looking to stat pad those mount numbers, you can do this while making a quick buck. Hellfire Ramparts is a notorious gold farm for its quick clear time and half decent loot. With the amount of humanoid mobs in the dungeon, you're guaranteed to walk away from the dungeon with more greens than you will ever need, not to mention being absolutely up to your neck in netherweave cloth. Coupled with the fact that the dungeon only takes a couple minutes to fully clear, as 2 of the bosses are completely optional and there's a drop down, you can hit your instance cap in easily under half an hour, allowing you to not only run this dungeon on multiple characters, but also giving you time to do other things such as going outside and touching grass. Now, the Shattered Halls is a sleeper dungeon that is low-key goated with the sauce. This dungeon provides great greens as, much like its sister dungeon the Hellfire Ramparts, is full of humanoid mobs. Also, just like the Hellfire Ramparts, the dungeon is quite literally going to have your inventory bursting at the seams with netherweave cloth. The dungeon is incredibly linear, and while not as efficient as the Hellfire Ramparts, it's a much longer dungeon, meaning that while you still hit your 10 lockouts per hour, you'll be able to pretty much instantly leap back into it, as your instance cap will have refreshed by the time you're finished. The last dungeon that I want to share with y'all is the Alcatraz. This dungeon is one of the most slept on out of any dungeon from any expansion. Go ahead and try looking up an Alcatraz gold farm, and I can guarantee that you won't find anything because it's just that slept on. This dungeon features plenty of humanoid mobs to farm for greens and cloth alike. This dungeon is also relatively linear other than the second room, meaning that you won't have to take detours, leading to quick, easy runs. As this is a dungeon that quite literally nobody is farming, the instance exclusive items such as the pattern for the Darkstrike bracers, which fetch between 20 to 30,000 gold, or Valanos' longbow, which can see up to 900,000 gold on my server. The Alcatraz is a dungeon that, much like End Time that I covered in my previous video, isn't thought about, so the competition will be sparse. I recommend farming it as soon as possible, as being the first one there will certainly lead to success. Anyways, thanks for watching. If you liked the video, cool. If you didn't like the video, write a letter critiquing things that I could have done better and send the message to me via carrier pigeon. Anyways, as always, peace.